So far, till now we discussed about a data pipeline. Now let us discuss about an instruction pipeline. Let us design an instruction pipeline. Okay. So how an instruction pipeline is going to be designed, let us understand. What is instruction pipeline? You know that the pipeline is all about segmentization, right? So if you want to design an instruction pipeline, just understand the instruction cycle. Instruction cycle. Instruction pipeline is all about segmentizing the operation, the sub operations in the instruction cycle. Let us see that the instruction cycle normally contains three phases. One is fetch, and the second one is decode, and the third one is execute. Okay, so what we'll have to do in order to design an instruction pipeline is just divide this instruction cycle into different phases, such as one phase for fetch, one phase for decode, and one phase for execution. So basically, the instruction pipeline at a beginning will have three different stages. One is for fetch, one is for decode, and one more is for execution. So you can design a three-stage pipeline. It will give you a basic three-stage pipeline. But there is a drawback here. If you want to design a pipeline simply with the three stages, the throughput will be less. You know that more the stages, more the throughput, more the speed up. We have already discussed that the throughput will be improved, the speed up will be increased whenever we have more number of stages, because speed up has a cap at the number of segments. If the number of segments are equal to 3, the maximum speed up you can get is equal to 3. If the number of segments are equal to 4, maximum speed up is equal to 4. If those are equal to 5, maximum speed up that we can gain out of that pipeline system is also equal to 5. So what we'll do is, we will try to divide this instruction cycle into some more phases. For that, let us understand all the operations that are going to be performed in an instruction cycle. Let us have a look at. Instruction cycle contains these many operations. Initially, if you have a look at, instruction must be fetched. Okay. After fetching the instructions, if you remember, we decoded the instruction, right? Instruction must be decoded, must be fetched, decoded. And the third one is, if you can see, we need to collect the operand. We need to get the operand in order to execute the instruction. But before you collect the operand, you need to calculate the effective address of the operand. That is, calculate effective address of the operand. You know how to calculate the effective address, because when an instruction like, add at the rate 450, this operand is specified in indirect addressing mode. At that time, we need to calculate the effective address in order to get the actual operand. The effective address is the actual address in which the operand is available. So we need to calculate the effective address of the operand. After calculating the effective address of the operand, we need to fetch the operand. Mind you, this process we have done in addressing modes chapter. In the session of addressing modes, I've explained you clearly how to calculate the effective address, because different instructions can have the operands available in different addressing modes, operands that are specified in different addressing mode. In each addressing mode, the way you calculate the effective address is different. So if you want to fetch an operand, first of all, you need to ensure that you're going to use the right formula for calculating the effective address. So we have to calculate the effective address of the operand. After calculating the effective address, we need to fetch the operand. Okay. And finally, after fetching the operand, we need to execute. What is this execution? This execution is nothing but the ALU operation, right? Once after the operand is available, we go to ALU, and in which the arithmetic or logical operation which is decoded will be performed. Okay. Finally, after execution, we'll have to write the result back into the register. After execution, what is going to happen? A register write back. I will write it as write back, because once after the ALU operation is performed, you have seen that the output of the ALU will get transferred to one of the processor's register. So we can have these many stages. If we can design each of these operations embedded to a stage, we can have a 6-stage pipeline. That is, each stage is designed by one of these operations. Then we can have a 6-stage pipeline: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I can have a 6-stage pipeline. Each stage is going to represent an operation. For an example, first one is fetch, second one is decode, third one is calculate the effective address of an operand, fourth one is fetch the operand, next one is execution, that is ALU operation, the final one is write back. Okay, so I can have a 6-stage pipeline. If you do have a 6-stage pipeline, the speed up will also be a maximum of a maximum which is equal to 6. You can achieve a better speed up which is equal to 6. But here, hold on, there are a few factors that are needed to be considered before you are encouraged to design your pipeline with a 6-stage one. Okay, now you have designed how many phases, sir? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to give you a rule. You need to follow that rule when you want to implement the pipeline. Okay, here I am telling you that, okay, fine, if you want to use these 6 stages, you go ahead, but ensure that you make sure that all the instructions will pass through all these stages. That meaning, whatever the instruction it is, every instruction must be passing all through these stages. Okay, why I am going to give you this rule? Because simply some instructions skip some phases. For an example, there is something called calculate the effective address of an operand. Okay, when it comes to calculate the effective address of an operand, I will tell you, this phase will not be used by all of the instructions. Okay, there is a phase that is in which effective address will be calculated. Effective address of the operand will get calculated. Here there is a problem. You remember register reference instructions? For the register reference instructions such as CLA and CMA, effective address need not be calculated because we are not going to main memory. Okay, if the operands are available in main memory, then only we can use this stage in which effective address will be calculated. But for no register reference instruction or IO instructions, effective address needed to be calculated. Okay, so for some instruction, this stage we don't need. Okay, similarly, there is something called ALU operation. Okay, one more stage is called ALU operation, that is execution. Okay, ALU operation. Did you get it? So when it comes to ALU operation, some of the instruction don't use this phase at all, because some of the instruction will just involve in a transfer, such as load and store. Load comma store. what is this load and store? Are these performing any ALU operation? No. Load will make a transfer from register to the main memory. Store will make a transfer from main memory to the register. Rather, or the opposite direction. Load transfers from main memory to the register. Store transfer from register to the main memory. These are just data transfer instructions. Data transfer instructions. For all the data transfer instructions, this ALU segment is a waste because none of the data transfer instruction has something to do with ALU. Okay, so this ALU stage, this execution stage has nothing to do with the data transfer instructions. So what I'll do is, I will use a potential pipeline system with just 4 stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. What are these stages? Let me tell you. First one is fetch. Second one is decode as well as calculate the effective address. So some instruction doesn't require to calculate their effective address, but every instruction needed to be decoded, right? So what we'll do is, we will club both of the phases. One is decode and one more is calculating the effective address. This will be a single stage. So all the instructions will pass. Even though the calculating the effective address part is not required, every instruction is needed to be decoded. So what I'm doing is, I'm clubbing these 2 phases. Okay. And next thing is fetch the operand. Operand must be fetched for all the instructions. And finally, what I'll do is, I will club ALU operation, that is execution and register write back. Both of the stages will be clubbed. Even though execution is not required for any instruction, for some instructions, all the registers, all the outputs of every instruction must be transferred to a register. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use these 4 stages. So potentially all the stages will be used by all the instructions. Okay, I'm clubbing execution and write back, meaning even though we don't require ALU, but a register store is necessary for all the instructions. So for that reason, I'm clubbing execution and write back. So my potential pipeline system, my potential instruction pipeline is having 4 stages. That is fetch, decode and calculate the effective address, fetch the operand, execute and write back. We have fetch the instruction from the memory, decode the instruction, calculate the effective address of the operand, fetch the operands from the memory, execute the operation, store the result in the proper place. Some instructions will surely skip some phases. So what we do is, effective address calculation and decoding we are clubbing. These 2 we are clubbing. And execution and store the result in the proper place we are clubbing. So finally we did have this 4-stage pipeline. That is, fetch the instruction from the memory, decode the instruction and calculate the effective address, fetch the operand, and finally execute the operation. So my instruction pipeline that I'm going to design is of 4 stages.